to our very busy You Can Too kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you my version of chili con carne. Not the same as everybody does it, but we've all got our own ways of doing things. This is just how I do it. I'm making a bulk batch so that I can freeze a load down. Again, I'll have loads of ready meals in the freezer for as and when we need it. In my pan I've got about half a dozen large onions, which I've chopped quite coarsely, and I'm just browning those off. I'm using fry light because, as I say, I'm eternally on diet, and that's one of the things we're allowed to use in the slimming world. So I've got my onions in there. I'm going to add to that, I've got about 4 sticks of celery, just coarsely chopped, just straight down. I'm going to throw that in. My usual ginger and garlic. The quantities will be in the comments, so you'll be able to see how much of everything we've used. And I'm going to give that a good stir, and I'm just going to leave that cook down for a couple of minutes. Once everything's completely mixed in, as usual, try not to get too much of the ginger and garlic on the bottom of the pan because it will stick. Break it all up, make sure you haven't got any big lumps of ginger or garlic. They're both grated, so they should separate quite nicely. And I'm just going to leave that cook down for a couple of minutes, and we'll come back to it when they've softened down a little bit. So my onions and celery have softened down, my garlic and ginger. I don't want them cooked at this stage, I just want them to be slightly softer. I don't like putting things straight in the slow cooker because I don't think you get the same sort of textures and tastes as you do if you brown them off first. So this I'm going to put into my slow cooker, which I have had heating up. Okay, so that little lot's in the slow cooker now. I'm going to refry light my pan. Good few squirts. Now here I've got 500 grams of beef mince and 500 grams of pork mince. I actually think it gives a better flavour if you use a combination of the two. My wooden fork, and just go along, you can see what I'm doing, and it separates the mince off really nicely. There's nothing worse than big chunks of meat in the chilli. It should be really well separated, really well mixed in. My mince is nicely browned now, and it's well combined. As you can see, there's no lumps. Any lumps you do see, just squash them down and they'll break up. If you're not using a slow cooker, just do this in a separate pan. You want an oven-proof pan ultimately, because obviously it'll be going into the oven. When you've finished and everything's mixed together, you want to cook it for a couple of hours to really cook the mince through on about 180 degrees centigrade. Going into the slow cooker, I've got mine on a high heat, and again it'll be in there for a couple of hours. So that's my mince nicely mixed together, no lumps, and I'm just going to pop that into the slow cooker. Give those a good stir in so they're nicely mixed together. Right, to that I'm going to add 4 cans of, again, ordinary chopped tomatoes, straight in, and stir those in. I've got 4 cans of kidney beans here. You've got to remember I'm making about 1 kilo of mince up here, so there's going to be a lot, but it won't actually be that much. I've drained those because I don't want all the juice in there. I don't want a sloppy runny chilli. I want a nice firm chilli. If it looks like you don't have enough in there, you can always add another tin or 2 of tomatoes, you know, if it looks like there's not enough liquid in there. But remember, liquid will be released whilst it's cooking, so it will end up more, there will end up to be more moisture in there than there is now. Some beef stock cubes here. I'm just going to add half a dozen. Again, sounds like a lot, but I am making a lot, so it's fine. And I'm just squashing those in, and then I'll give it a stir and stir those into the mixture. They will break down, and they'll also help to thicken it up a little bit, but they'll break down in the mixture, so it will be well dispersed. Now I'm going to add about 3 or 4 good tablespoons of tomato puree. So that's actually most of a tube of tomato puree gone in there. I say it's about 4 good tablespoons. Obviously, if you're just doing like a kilo of beef mince, 500 grams of beef mince, then half the quantities of the stuff that I've used. As I say, I am doing a big batch today. Now to that, I'm going to add, I've got some white wine vinegar there. I'm going to add 2 generous tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Obviously, if you're not on diet, use sugar, but I'm using 2 tablespoons of artificial sweetener. And then my extra hot chili powder, and this really is very hot, so I'm going to use about a heaped teaspoonful, and that will be plenty for this because, as I say, this is extremely hot. My lid on, I say if it's going in the oven, just put a lid on it, about 180 degrees for a couple of hours. And I'm just going to leave that for a couple of hours. And on to our rice. I'm just using ordinary long grain rice today. I usually do about, this is a full cup measure, I usually do about 3/4 of a cup per person. And it's quite a generous measure, but you may want more, you may want less. To that I'm going to add 1.5 cups because I'm doing it for 2 people, and I'm adding 1.5 cups of water, a good glug of salt because we like it quite salty. I always do it with a see-through lid, a pan with a see-through lid, so that I can watch what's going on. Give it a little shake and put the lid on, bring it to the boil, and then turn the heat right down, and you leave your rice cook until all the water's gone. You will be able to see. The rice has had about 10 minutes now, which is about ideal. I just want it cooked and fluffy. I don't want it overcooked, I don't want it undercooked. And if you look, if you can see, all the water has gone from the pan. So it's nice and fluffy, not sticking together. And there we have it, chilli and rice, all ready to go. Always remember, folks, like and subscribe if you can, please. If you subscribe, then you'll get notifications. Thank you for watching again today. I've enjoyed this, I hope you have too. And if you find it useful, as I say, please, please, please subscribe. But always remember, cooking is actually quite easy. You can too.